Hey warrior, life has carved into your spirit. Listen closely, because this moment right now is not accidental. You're hearing these words because some part of you is ready for the truth, ready for the shift, ready to stop explaining your life and finally start living it. You've spent enough time defending your decisions, arguing with opinions, trying to convince people of who you are, what you're capable of, what you meant, why you failed, why you're still trying. Enough of that. There's a moment when every warrior, every philosopher, every human being with a pulse and a dream finally realizes the truth. You do not owe the world an explanation. You owe it your efforts. You owe it your discipline. You owe it your growth. And the rest is noise. You've been a prisoner not to chains, not to circumstances, but to reactions. To every comment, every doubt, every whisper, every side-eye, every expectation. You've been carrying the heavy armor of defensiveness, when what you really needed was the quiet strength of self-control. Today, we take that armor off. Today, you return to yourself. Because the Stoics, those ancient warriors of the mind, weren't powerful because they spoke loudly or defended everything they did. They were powerful because they understood something most people still fail to grasp. Life is not about explaining yourself. Life is about becoming yourself. And becoming takes action. It takes discipline. It takes silence. It takes courage in the dark, when no one is clapping for you, when no one even knows what you're building. When the only applause you get comes from your heartbeat, steady, determined, unbroken. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man named Caelan, a craftsman, not by trade, but by destiny. He lived in a quiet coastal town where the salt wind carved the cliffs the same way time carved the human spirit, slowly, consistently, without asking permission. Caelan was an ordinary man until tragedy reshaped him. He had a small workshop where he repaired boats. His hands were always covered in sawdust and seawater. His smile was calm and humble, and people trusted him because he never promised more than he could deliver. But life, as it always does, tested him. One stormy night, a wave taller than the lighthouse crashed against the harbor. Boats shattered like twigs. The sea took more than wood that night. It took Caelan's younger brother, the one person he had left after losing his parents. Grief crushed him. He felt broken in a way words failed to express. His workshop sat silent for weeks. The tools he once handled with precision felt like dead weight. His heartbeat was slow, heavy, dragging him into a darkness he didn't understand. People talked. Some whispered that he'd never recover. Others said he should have done more. Some offered sympathy, but many offered opinions, loud, careless opinions. And Caelan did what most people in pain do. He listened, he reacted, he defended, he explained. I tried everything I could. There was nothing else I could do. It wasn't my fault. He shouldn't have been out there. And the more he explained, the more he defended himself, the weaker he became. Every explanation stripped another piece of him away. One day, the oldest sailor in the town, a man named Harun, walked into the silent workshop. He didn't knock. He didn't ask. He simply stepped inside, dragging a broken oar behind him. He set the oar on Caelan's workbench and said, "Repair it." Caelan shook his head. "I'm not working." Harun stared at him with a calm, unchanging expression. "Then start," Caelan snapped. "Why? Why should I? Don't you know what happened? Don't you judge me? Don't you think I should have?" Harun raised one hand. "Stop explaining. Pick up your tools." And when Caelan didn't move, Harun leaned closer and said, something that changed the entire direction of his life. "The wave took your brother. Don't let the world take you." Caelan froze. Harun continued, "You are reacting to every opinion as if they are commands. You justify your grief as if you need permission to feel it. You defend yourself as if your worth depends on their understanding. No more. You can't stop the sea. You can't stop the storm. You can't change death. But you can choose your hands. You can choose your work. You can choose your response. So choose action. That moment cracked something inside Caelan, not in a painful way, but in a liberating one. He realized he had been fighting a war on the wrong battlefield. He wasn't fighting the sea. He wasn't fighting fate. He was fighting the opinions in his own mind. So he picked up the oar, and he repaired it. It took him 3 days. Not because the task was difficult, but because every stroke of the chisel was a battle against grief, self-doubt, and regret. Every moment he wanted to justify or explain himself, he returned to the wood. Every time he felt overwhelmed, he focused on his hands. Every time his mind spiraled into, "Why me?" he answered with, "What now?" This is the essence of Stoicism. Return to what you can control. Let go of the rest. As Caelan worked, something powerful happened. The villagers kept talking, but he stopped reacting. He didn't argue. He didn't defend. He didn't correct their assumptions. He didn't try to prove his innocence, or intelligence, or goodness. Instead, he poured every ounce of his energy into becoming stronger, calmer, more focused, quietly, consistently, patiently. His silence said more than his explanations ever did. Because that's the difference between two types of people in this world. There are those who talk, who justify, who react, who defend themselves at every turn, spilling their energy like water through open fingers. And there are those who conserve their energy like a warrior sharpening his blade. They use that energy for growth, for mastery, for discipline, for purpose. And they let their actions, not their reactions, define them. Which one are you becoming? Because the first group is crowded, noisy, chaotic, exhausting. The second group, it's rare, it's calm, it's powerful. They are the ones who rise. As Caelan repaired the oar, he began repairing himself. He practiced gratitude, not the fluffy kind, but the grounded kind. He whispered, "I'm grateful for the strength to keep trying. I'm grateful for the time I had with my brother. I'm grateful for breath. I'm grateful for one more sunrise." He practiced courage, not the fearless kind, but the persistent kind, the courage to get up, to work, to rebuild, to face the pain without running from it. He practiced temperance, the discipline to control his emotions instead of letting them control him. When anger hit, he breathed. When sadness came, he allowed it. When anxiety whispered, he didn't argue. He acknowledged it and moved forward anyway. He practiced justice, the virtue of doing what is right, even when no one is watching. He repaired boats for fair prices. He treated people with kindness. He honored his brother by living with integrity. Weeks passed, and Caelan spoke less. He reacted less. He explained almost nothing. He just worked, focused, determined. Over time, the villagers noticed. Not because Caelan told them he was healing, but because his actions revealed it. Not because he defended himself, but because he lived in a way that needed no defense. The same villagers who once questioned him now respected him. His silence became strength. His discipline became reputation. His persistence became legend. And then came the day a huge ship arrived, battered by a distant storm. The captain heard of a craftsman who worked with patience and precision, a man who let the results speak for him. He found Caelan in his workshop and said, "I heard you're the best." Caelan didn't boast. He didn't explain how he became stronger. He didn't justify his scars. He simply nodded and said, "Let me show you." And that was it. That's the Stoic way. Not proving, not explaining, just doing. Here's the truth you need to hear today. Your life doesn't need your explanation. It needs your excellence. Stop trying to convince people. Stop trying to correct their opinions. Stop defending your past. Stop arguing with those who don't matter. Stop explaining your journey to those who aren't walking it with you. Your discipline is your voice. Your courage is your message. Your consistency is your argument. Your integrity is your proof. Be like Caelan. Be like the Stoics. Be like those warriors who realize that silence is not weakness, silence is focus. Because every minute you spend explaining is a minute you could spend improving. Every minute you spend defending is a minute you could spend building. Every minute you spend reacting is a minute you could spend rising. Let others talk. You work, you grow, you evolve. You master your mind. Remember this always. You are not responsible for the opinions of others. You are responsible for your actions. You are responsible for your effort. You are responsible for your character. You are responsible for your response. Nothing more. You want confidence? Earn it through consistency. You want peace? Protect your attention. You want power? Master your reactions. You want freedom? Detach from validation. You want to manifest everything you desire? Follow the 7 Stoic rules life keeps trying to teach you. 1. Focus only on what you can control. Your thoughts, your effort, your attitude. 2. Practice discipline relentlessly. Let your habits, not your emotions, lead you. 3. Accept fate without resistance. You can't change the past, but you can shape the future. 4. Respond, don't react. A calm mind conquers storms. 5. Seek improvement, not attention. Silent progress is still progress. 6. Be grateful, especially in adversity. Gratitude turns pain into wisdom. 7. Let actions speak louder than explanations. True power needs no validation. You are stronger than you think, quieter than you used to be, more focused than you were last year, closer than you realize. And if you walk this path, the Stoic path, your life will become proof that greatness is not built by noise. It's built by consistency, by character, by quiet strength, by doing the work no one sees, by mastering the battle inside your mind. So, warrior, from this moment on, choose silence over defensiveness. Choose focus over noise. Choose discipline over emotion. Choose action over explanation. Let your life be your loudest message. Let your results be your argument. Let your growth answer every doubt. And when people ask how you did it, smile calmly and say, I stopped explaining and I started becoming. Now go with stoic calm, unshakable strength and quiet determination. Go build the life that needs no defense. Go live the life that speaks for itself. Go manifest everything you desire through discipline, through virtue, through action. Your story is just beginning. And yet, warrior, Caelan's journey did not end with repairing one oar. Life, in its quiet and merciless wisdom, always brings new storms, not to break you, but to sculpt you. The weeks after he rebuilt the oar brought a strange mixture of calm and uncertainty. The sea returned to tranquility, the village found its rhythm, and Caelan continued working silently. People respected him, but they didn't truly understand him, and that's when Caelan realized something. Every warrior, every creator, every dreamer eventually learns. Most people will never understand the battles you fight inside, and that's okay. They don't need to. You don't owe people your wounds. You don't owe them your explanations. You owe them your integrity, your action, your presence. But the truth is, progress doesn't erase pain. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. And inner strength isn't born in comfort, it's born in confrontation. Deep inside, Caelan still felt something unresolved. Grief has many shadows, and one of those shadows whispered to him at night, "Could you not have saved him? Could you have done more? Are you sure you aren't the reason he's gone?" These thoughts came not from malice, but from the human heart's desperate need for answers where none exist. And one night, unable to sleep, Caelan walked down to the shore with the moonlight reflecting on the water like a cracked mirror. He stood there, hands in his pockets, listening to the waves breathe in and out, the same waves that took his brother away. He whispered into the wind, "If I can't control the sea, why does it still control me?" That is the moment every Stoic faces. The moment you realize the enemy is not the world. The enemy is the conflict inside your own mind. The sea wasn't the problem. The villagers weren't the problem. His brother's death wasn't the problem. The problem was the voice inside him he had not yet confronted, the voice that still demanded certainty, demanded control, demanded explanations for life's tragedies. But life has never owed us clarity, only opportunity, only presence, only choice. As he stood there wrestling with his thoughts, Harun, the old sailor, appeared beside him quietly, like he had walked out of the mist itself. "You're still arguing with fate," Harun said gently. Caelan clenched his jaw. "How do you stop?" Harun didn't look at him. He looked at the waves. His eyes reflected decades of storms, storms outside and storms within. "You don't stop it," Harun said. "You outgrow it." Caelan frowned. "What do you mean?" Harun lowered himself onto a rock with the slow, deliberate movement of a man twice tested by life. "You're trying to silence your pain. That's not Stoicism. That's suppression." Caelan stayed quiet. Harun continued. "Stoicism isn't about feeling nothing. It's about not being ruled by what you feel." He pointed at the waves. "See that? You can't stop that tide. But you can learn to stand so it doesn't knock you down." Caelan swallowed hard. "But how do I stop wishing I could change what happened?" "You don't." Harun smiled softly. "You accept the wish as part of you, and then you choose action anyway. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of Stoic philosophy. Discipline is not the absence of emotion. It is the decision to act with virtue, even when emotion is loud. Caelan realized something profound, something many people never learn. The mind is not conquered through force. The mind is conquered through understanding. And so he asked the question that had haunted him for months. "Harun, why do people expect explanations for our grief? Why do they want reasons for our pain?" Harun chuckled. "People fear what they don't understand. When they can't categorize your suffering, they try to define it for you." Caelan sighed. "And we explain ourselves to calm them?" "To calm yourself," Harun corrected, "because when you are uncertain, it feels easier to justify your pain than to face the silence within it." Caelan lowered his head, realizing the truth in those words. "So, what should I do instead?" Caelan asked. Harun stood slowly. "You should live in a way that needs no justification." And then he walked away. Those were the last words he said that night, and they became the foundation of Caelan's transformation, because from that moment forward, Caelan committed not just to discipline, but to inner mastery. Not to just rebuilding wood, but rebuilding himself. And life, in its mysterious harmony, soon gave him the chance to prove it. The second test, the ship of the Red Crest. Months later, during late autumn, a massive vessel known as the Red Crest approached the harbor. Its sails were torn, its hull cracked, and its crew exhausted. It had survived a brutal storm across the open sea, and the captain sought a craftsman capable of repairing it quickly and precisely. People pointed him toward Caelan. When the captain arrived, Caelan was working quietly in his shop, smoothing the surface of an old mast. The captain studied him, the calm posture, the quiet focus, the lack of urgency. "You're the one they call the silent worker?" the captain asked. Caelan looked up. He simply nodded. "They say you're the best." Caelan didn't smile. "I do my best. That's different." The captain raised an eyebrow. "Can you repair a ship that's taken a storm head-on?" "Again," Caelan simply said, "show me." They walked to the harbor, where the Red Crest waited, a wounded giant. Its ribs groaned, its beams bent from impact, its deck warped by the violence of nature. The villagers whispered among themselves, "This ship is too damaged. No one can fix that. Even Caelan can't handle something like this." Caelan heard the whispers, but he didn't react. He didn't correct them. He didn't defend his abilities. He stood silently, assessing, thinking, feeling. The captain asked nervously, "Well, can you do it?" Caelan placed a hand on the ship's hull. He felt the wood's fatigue. He felt its story. He felt its suffering. Then he said, "It will take time, and patience, and work, nothing more." The captain smiled, relieved. "You will be rewarded." Caelan shook his head. "I don't work for rewards. I work because it is my responsibility to work well." Another Stoic truth: reward is never the purpose, virtue is. And so, Caelan began the most difficult task of his life. Days turned into weeks. Winter approached. The air grew colder. The villagers doubted. The crew of the Red Crest grew anxious. But Caelan worked steady, precise, unshaken. He woke before sunrise and worked until the stars filled the sky. His hands bled, his muscles ached, his breath came out in visible bursts of cold. Yet he didn't complain, he didn't boast, he didn't rush, he didn't explain the difficulty of the work to anyone. He just acted. Because Stoics know something most people never discover. When you commit to action, emotion becomes a companion, not a commander. And in his quiet determination, Caelan found moments of peace he had never felt before. The rhythm of his work became a meditation. The sound of hammer against wood became a heartbeat. The cold wind became a teacher. The ship became a mirror of his own transformation. But there was something bigger happening, something Caelan didn't realize, until much later. While he was rebuilding the ship, he was rebuilding the crew's hope. He was rebuilding the villagers' faith. He was rebuilding his own identity. This is what happens when you live with purpose. Your actions touch lives you don't even notice. And still, he said nothing. Still, he explained nothing. Still, he defended nothing. He let the work speak, and the work spoke. The storm within the storm. One evening, while Caelan worked alone under lantern light, something unexpected happened. The captain approached him quietly, watching him with troubled eyes. Caelan continued working, saying nothing. After a long silence, the captain whispered, "How do you do it?" Caelan paused. "Do what?" "Stay calm," the captain said. "After what you've been through, after what everyone says, after the doubts, the rumors, the pressure, how do you stay unshaken?" Caelan slowly put down his tools. He wiped his hands. He looked at the captain, really looked at him. And for the first time in months, Caelan decided to speak more than a sentence. "Because," he said softly, "I learned that opinions are wind. They come fast, they go fast, and they pass right through you unless you build your life around them. I used to let them hit me. I used to react to every gust, every word, every judgment." He turned back to the ship. "Now I anchor myself in what I can control." The captain listened, captivated. "And what do you control?" he asked. Caelan exhaled, slow and steady. "My effort, my craft, my discipline, my response, nothing else." The captain sat down on a crate beside him. Do you ever feel like explaining yourself? Justifying yourself?" Caelan gave a faint smile. "Every day. But I realized something. The need to explain comes from fear. The ability to stay silent comes from strength." The captain looked toward the sea. His eyes were wet. Caelan noticed. "What burdens you?" he asked quietly. The captain sighed deeply. "My crew. They don't know this, but during the storm, I froze. I hesitated. And that hesitation cost us. We lost a man. And I can't stop thinking if I had made a quicker decision, maybe he'd still be alive." Caelan studied him, seeing his past self reflected in the captain's guilt. "You're asking the wrong question," Caelan said. "Don't ask, could I have changed the past? Ask, what am I changing now?" The captain swallowed hard. Caelan continued, "Shame keeps you chained to yesterday. Duty pulls you toward tomorrow. Choose duty." This is Stoic wisdom in its purest form. Regret is the mind rewriting history. Duty is the soul rewriting destiny. The captain nodded slowly, and in that moment, Caelan realized something powerful. He wasn't just rebuilding a ship, he was rebuilding the broken parts of others through example, not words. The final test, as winter deepened, word reached the village that a massive storm was approaching, worse than the one that destroyed Caelan's brother's boat. People panicked. Sailors scrambled to secure their vessels. The crew of the Red Crest begged Caelan to hurry, but Caelan didn't rush. He didn't panic. He didn't let fear hijack the moment. He worked steady, calm, relentless. One of the villagers shouted at him, "If you don't finish the repairs, this ship will be destroyed. Don't you care?" Caelan looked at the man. His voice was calm. "Panic does not create speed. Panic creates mistakes. But you must hurry." "No," Caelan corrected gently. "I must be precise." These words became a philosophy. Urgency without clarity is chaos. Urgency with clarity is power. As the storm clouds gathered, Caelan worked on the ship's final reinforcement. The winds grew stronger, the waves roared louder, the lanterns flickered in the darkness. But inside himself, Caelan felt something he had not felt since before his brother died. Peace, because he had finally let go of the need to change the past. He had finally let go of the need to justify himself. He had finally accepted that fate doesn't break you, your reaction to fate does. And when he drove the final bolt into the ship, snow began to fall. The storm arrived. The villagers shouted for Caelan to get to shelter. The wind whipped the harbor. The waves slammed against the dock. But Caelan stood tall in the rising chaos. And the Red Crest, the ship he rebuilt, held firm. The captain watched in awe. The crew wept. The villagers stared in disbelief. The boat that no one believed could be repaired survived the first assault of the storm without a single crack. And Caelan, drenched, cold, exhausted, simply nodded once and walked toward his workshop. No boasting, no speech, no explanation. His work said everything. And that night, in the quiet of his workshop, something shifted inside him. The grief didn't vanish, but it loosened. The guilt didn't disappear, but it shrank. The storm outside raged, but the storm inside calmed. Because Caelan finally understood, strength is not the absence of storms. Strength is learning to remain yourself within them. The legacy. Years later, people across the coast spoke of Caelan as a living legend, the silent builder, the unshaken craftsman, the stoic of the sea. Not because he convinced them, not because he explained anything, not because he justified his life, but because he lived it. And his story teaches the warrior within you that you don't need permission to heal, you don't need validation to grow, you don't need applause to become great, you don't need explanations to be understood. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You need only to act with discipline, with virtue, with courage. Be the one who builds when others doubt. Be the one who stands when others fall. Be the one who stays calm when others panic. Be the one who lets their life speak for them. This world is full of noise. You be the quiet force that moves mountains. This world is full of excuses. You be the disciplined exception. This world is full of imitation. You be authenticity in motion. This world is full of reaction. You be mastery. And when people ask you how you achieved everything you did, how you transformed your life, how you built your empire, how you found your peace, just smile quietly and say, "I stopped explaining, and I started becoming."